in advance if I do need to break for a cough because I am battling a little bit, but I am okay. I want to introduce the theme of today, which is Memory Masters. And you're probably wondering why. But I have a 10-year-old who's currently in our house going through a program called Memory Masters. And she came in and she said, Toastmasters, Memory Masters. Mom, we're very similar. And so I thought about that and I said, well, how can I intertwine the two? And I realized that to be a good Toastmaster, we must also sharpen our memory. And then we can also sharpen the voice and the presenting that we do as individuals. So I wanted to encourage us all today as you're walking through and becoming the best memory master and Toastmaster that you can, that you keep this in mind. So as Toastmaster of the day, I am going to just quickly give you an overview of the role that I will be serving in, and then I will move on to confirming the roles that we have today. Just talk about the theme and just give me my appreciation for this. I just want to say that it is my responsibility today to introduce the speakers. And in this role, I'll also, after the speeches have concluded, I'll ask back the general evaluator to go over what our different evaluators have today, and we will get the counter report, the grammarian report, and the left out one. I'm going to keep going, but then I will return the control of the meeting back to our fearless leaders today. And we also make sure we have an opportunity to welcome our guests. As we talk about this really quickly, sorry, it moved, supposed to be on this screen. Sorry, there we go. I just want to talk about how we explore our memory and how it shapes our identity and it fuels us. We dive into the fascinating world of memory and how it shapes who we are and how it's helpful for us to grow. And we can train it to serve us better, and that's what we do here in Toastmasters. Whether it's remembering a powerful lesson or a moment that made you smile, or maybe it's just recalling names or speeches. Being a memory master isn't just about mental sharpness, it's about awareness and reflection and connection. So as we go through the speeches today and we enjoy and also learn from others, let us encourage one another to sharpen our minds and honor the memory that inspires us to be our best selves. And through my little one, that is what I have been doing all along. So my call to action to all of us as you're working through and you're doing speeches, I know memorization can be difficult because that's the thing I keep working on, but I call you to action to not to just be a Toastmaster, but to be a memory master and work on that skill too as we're all going along. So I thank you for allowing me to introduce that theme of the day. And now we're going to move on to introducing our general evaluator. So I will turn over the table to our general evaluator, which might be you as well. Okay, so thank you so much, and I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. And this is one of the most wonderful things about being here at GBL. You get an opportunity to learn how to lead and to fill many roles. So I'm happy to serve today as the General Evaluator. And in this role, I will evaluate everything that takes place during this meeting. I will take notes and I will report to you when I'm called upon to do so. But I'm not doing this all alone. I have an amazing team, Memory Master Toastmasters here with me. I have here, can I ask them, the timer, Toastmaster Chris, can you explain your role?
I'm supposed to be the heart counter.
I beg your pardon, the R counter indeed. Can you give us your role as an R counter?
Yes, so greeting Mr. and Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as a crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks during the meeting. I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sound, including um, and air. I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I, or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions. Thank you, Mr. and Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chris and Ty, and our counter today. Isn't that such a very, very important rule? It really helps us to improve our speeches. I'm now going to hand you over to someone who is doubling her role. She is going to tell us about the role of a grammarian and timer. Toastmaster Tara.
Thank you so much. Let me start with the timer role, and then I'll move to the grammarian role. And I had a question for you, Tanya. Am I doing a word of the day? I see a word of the day in the agenda, but it's not one that I chose. So I didn't know, is that new for today, or was that for leftover from the last meeting? Because it sounds familiar.
Yes, I believe it was left over from the.
I'll present a new word. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll have a new one. I picked one that kind of more fit the theme. Okay, let's start though by talking about timing. I will, because this is a new platform for me, I'm going to go to paper for ease of use. When you are on a 5 to 7 minute speech, I'll give you a green at the 5 minute mark. I'll give you a yellow at the 6 minute mark, and I'll give you a red at the 7 minute mark. This is hilarious. My camera goes in and out. Okay, when we do table topics, the goal there will be to speak 1 to 2 minutes. So you'll see a green paper coming up at 1 minute, a yellow paper at the minute and a half mark, and then the red paper at the 2 minute mark. So keep an eye on the colors of the paper to help guide you as you present or speak today. We will have a couple of evaluations, and for those evaluators, you'll get a green at 2, a yellow at 2.5, and a red at 3 minutes. So that's how we'll manage that. On the grammar side, I will look for any opportunities to improve grammar. If we come across that, I'll try to make a note and present my report at the end of it. The fun thing the grammarian gets to do, the little perk of the job, is the word of the day, which I will keep count of. And given the kickoff that we had from our Toastmaster of the day, I'd like to make the word of the day the word virtuoso. And virtuoso is a word that refers to a person who does something very skillfully. It's often something that we might hear in the context of a musician, a person who is a virtuoso at an instrument, for example, or their voice. You might also know someone, perhaps it's you, who's a virtuoso in the kitchen, someone who's got the magic touch with preparing difficult recipes. So let's use that word virtuoso, because I honestly have to say that when it comes to being a memory master, I strive to achieve a better performance. It is challenging, genuinely challenging, but the goal to be a virtuoso level with memory is an important one. I will count those up and come back at the end of the meeting. So back to you, our general evaluator.
Thank you so much indeed, Toastmaster Tara, for that wonderful explanation. And isn't she certainly a virtuoso at what she's doing, being a timer as well as grammarian and filling her role certainly well. And now we're in for some exciting meeting with 2 amazing speeches. I will hand you over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aisha.
Thank you so much. You were such a virtuoso. And I'm also going to introduce 2 virtuosos now as we move forward into their speeches today. Our first speech today is going to come from our Toastmaster, Agra, and it is a persuasive, influential speech. So prepare ourselves to be very engaged today. It is a Project 1 Level 2 speech. And the title of it is Example Teaches Better Than Words. So the next voice you will hear will be Magra, and it will be about the example teaches better than words. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster everyday. Example teach better than words. Dear Toastmaster and guests, what is leadership? Leadership is the ability to inspire, guide, and influence team toward the accomplishment of common goals. To tell you and to let you know my leadership style, I will first of all explain to you existing type of leadership. And second, I will tell you my leadership style of scale, if you want. Dear Toastmaster distinguished, there is 5 types of leadership. The first one is effective communicator. This communication consists in expectation, communicate on the expectation of the project, goal, and plan with over in a direct, concise, and fluent manner. This leadership is about communication, to be informed. People need to be well informed of everything they are doing. This is the first type of communicator. The second one is lead by example. Express leadership through word and action. It's not enough to simply tell others what to do. Lead by example is the most powerful means to motivate people. The third one is optimistic. Optimism is the ability to focus on the beneficial side of a situation and expect positive outcomes. An optimistic attitude creates the opportunity to overcome obstacles and adversity. The fourth one is open-minded leadership. Open-mindedness means considering new ideas in viewing situations without bias, listening to others, and incorporating the idea places value on every member of the team. This type of leadership is dynamic way of thinking and sharing a vision to the member of the team. And the last one is to demonstrate integrity. Demonstrate personal integrity by acknowledging and giving credit to others. Personal integrity refers to the ability to be honest and ethical. Integrity builds the trust you need for a strong team and increase the likelihood of accomplishment team goal. Dear Toastmaster, when I was the general manager of a rice trading company, I used always to teach by example. Before I think, practice makes men perfect. And I use also to explain to my co-workers every project, every single project before we start. How everything works before go live. My leadership style is leading by example and effective communicator. Madam Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you. Thank you. I so greatly enjoyed hearing about the leading by example that you've done, and it was such a wonderful opportunity for you to share with us. So thank you so much for such a great speech today. Our second speech, I believe we've arrived, and I don't quite know what the title is, but you will bless us with that as well before you speak. Could you tell me the title?
Okay, the title of my speech is about change management plan, project reset, embracing digital efficiency.
Okay, embracing digital
Efficiency.
efficiency. Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that. So now I am going to introduce our virtuoso, Ade, as she comes forward with her speech for us today. It is on change management, and the title is Embracing Digital Efficiency. So now I will turn it over to you, and that will be the next voice that you hear.
So you need to help me. I need to share my screen so that I can share my slide.
Oh, no problem. It is the square with the arrow pointing up on the bottom of the screen is present. And then once you've done that, you just have to click probably across the top. It'll be entire screen. And then you will click on the screen you would love us to see.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And you are now presenting. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm just trying to let me make my slide. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh, no. Sorry, I'm not used to this.
It's okay.
Meet. Yeah.
Got it? Yep, there you go. Wonderful. Thank you. So now we will start our speech with embracing digital efficiency. Ade?
Thank you, everyone. I'm so sorry about that glitch. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever part of the world you're in. So today I want to take you through a change management plan that I've designed for a workplace. And I call it Project Reset, Embracing Digital Efficiency. It's focused on transforming our team from outdated manual workflow to an integrated digital system that will improve the way we work, the way we think, and also it will reduce time wasting as well as the amount of time we'll use in doing administrative work as well as boosting our productivity. Think of it this way. It's like you're upgrading from a flip phone to a smartphone. It's not going to be that easy. At first, it will be scary, but absolutely it's worth it because it's like in this 21st century, technology, things are changing, technology are improving every day. And so what's the situation? Currently, most of the workflows that we use rely on email, trend, disconnected, lot of spreadsheet everywhere, and lot of duplicated effort. So, and most of the time, most of the tasks that we do kind of slip through the crack that people don't even remember to pick some of the tasks up because we have too many spreadsheets all over the place. And it's so difficult for us to track most of the things that we do on projects. So we have that inconsistency. And also it's a bit difficult for the team to collaborate. And as a result of that, we have things being resolved. Well, we have delays, we have people being frustrated with the way things are being done, and also opportunities are being missed as a result of this. So we need a solution to fix this. And how do we fix this? We decided to come up with a project called Reset. So we need to reset the way we do things. We need to change our ways of working. Talking about the vision is very clear. What we plan to do is to centralize the communication, streamline task management, automate most of the repetitive tasks or the administrative works that are being repeated, and also make use of Microsoft Teams, Planner, and SharePoint as a way of communication. And we'd also try to replace reactive problem solving with proactive planning. We have most of our data being scattered around, so we decide to put all of them in one place and then using a dashboard, because when you're presenting to management about the project you are doing, the majority of them prefer to look at the dashboard and look at a high-level overview of what you're talking about. And how did we do this? Step one, we prepare for the change. Because the vision is clear, first, we assess the readiness. What's the readiness? And how did we do that? Through survey, through interviews, an informal interview to some of the team members. And as a result of that, we found one or two major concerns. For example, lack of time, fear of learning new system. And how do we address this? To address this, we had to run a short focus training session during the existing team orders. And with some of the videos that are very easy for the team to follow up with. And also we had some people that we call early adopters, which we decide to make them our champions. And anytime we release most of the work that we do on the project, they are the first set of people to test this and then come back to us with feedback on how we're doing, how we're progressing, and how they feel things are being done. Step two, we created a change vision. So how did we do that? And why did we do this? Because time is one of the most valuable assets to people. So, and we want to spend more time, we want to spend less time tracking tasks and more time in delivering results. So this change, as a result of this change, we're able to do that. We're able to focus on things that matter and meaningful work, and then reduce repetitive work on admin. Also, going to step three, we develop a plan. And the plan is within the first 2 weeks, there will be introductory training as well as tool sections that people will use. We had to put them through on how to use it, and then kind of give them training on the things that we're doing. Then week 3 to week 4, we onboard a team planner, Microsoft Planner, a share calendar, and then week 5 to 6, we kind of automate most of the workflow automation with Power Automate. That was done within week 5 to week 6. And then week 5 to week 6, we did that. And then we had this ongoing continuous feedback from the members of the team, as well as support, because without feedback, you won't know where to improve. You won't know how to tackle things. You won't know where issues are and how you can go about fixing it, and also how we can optimize what we're working on. So we did all that. And also the key performance indicator was also included to reduce email volume and also to fast track most of the tasks that we do, as well as turn around most of our activities within a very short time. Step 4, there's change is difficult, and definitely we did encounter resistance. And because change is uncomfortable, but communication can make it easier. So how did we tackle this? We decided to open a Q&A sessions whereby we had a forum whereby people ask questions about the change, and then we answer them. Also, like I mentioned earlier on, we recognize the early adopters. Those are the people that will test the product first time anytime we release it. And then we had to communicate the why to the stakeholders. Why are we doing this? Why? And last but not the least, we were able to replace confusion with clarity, because if you're able to communicate to your stakeholders clearly, you kind of remove, kind of alleviate a bit of their fears, and you're able to let them know the reason why you're doing this, and you are clear on the purpose for doing that. And the 5th point was to reinforce and celebrate. So success will be celebrated. So what we did was to showcase the team wins. Anytime we have team wins, we did showcase our team wins on a monthly basis. And issues, we have heroes, efficiency hero award. We do give award to people that perform beyond expectation. And also we gather feedbacks as well as testimonial from people that have used our product, as well as feedback. And feedback is not just a one-off. We decided to keep the feedback as a continuous thing, because that will help us to improve on the product and all the things that we're doing regarding the change. And finally, like I said, change isn't an easy thing, but it is necessary. And that was one of the reasons why we decided to come up with change the project reset, so that we can save time on things that matters, and we can focus more on delivery. And with project reset, we're not just adding, it's not a matter of adding new tool, but we are building a smarter and a faster and a more focused team. And how can we do this? We're not able to achieve this all by ourselves. There is need for us to work as a team. There is need for commitment. And when we work as a team, when we work together, we're able to cover more grants. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much for blessing us today with that very good speech, and also for allowing us to learn more about with this particular topic. So we're going to continue to move our meeting along, if that is acceptable. And now I'm going to believe our table topics master has arrived. So we will, as you stop sharing your screen, we'll turn it over now to our table topics master. Are you there?
I am here.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everybody. Apologies for being late.
We're just glad you're here. Thank you.
All right. Timer, who's the timer? How much time do we have? Are we on track?
If it's me, I'm watching, and we're probably only about 5 minutes behind. But if you can continue to keep us moving along, I think we'll do great.
All right. So I tried to formulate some questions based on the theme, what I understood from it, my own interpretation, and the word of the day. Let's begin. The first question, let's go back to traditional table topics. The first question is, think of a memory where you felt like a virtuoso, completely in your element. How would you describe that moment using your 5 senses? I want to ask this to Marie Ellen. Are you with us now?
Yes, I am in listening mode, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. Think of a memory where you felt like a virtuoso, completely in your element. How would you describe that
Oh,
moment using your five senses?
using my five senses. Um, hmm,
Tell us what
I
you
have
saw,
what?
smelt, felt.
Okay, I smell. Um, I I can detect easily when smoke is somewhere, you know. So because of this ability uh, of being very sensitive to smell, I was able to detect numerous time gas leak. Uh, yeah. In terms of
Okay.
hearing, okay, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry, I
No,
apologize.
I'm finished. Can I
Oh, you
stick
are?
to one? I will ask one of my colleagues to continue for other senses.
Sure. Let's do that. Maybe someone else can pick up that question. Maglo, would you like to take this question?
I will try. I was disconnected, but I will try.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. Think of a memory where you felt like a virtuoso, completely in your element. How would you describe that moment using your five senses?
Using my five senses, when uh, I'm not getting you better.
Did you drop off?
Can you explain more the idea?
Or should we, I would suggest maybe Tanya
Yeah.
can go first.
Yeah, okay. That's a good idea, Tara.
Yeah,
So I would like me to repeat the question.
yeah.
That's all right, Alan. I will give it a shot. Okay, so picture this. It is a bright and beautiful sunshiny day right here in Trinidad and Tobago, and I am on the street for carnival. I hear music, soca playing. I feel the rhythm, and then I start shaking and dancing with my friends all around me. I'm so excited, and my paws is raising. I reached and I touched my hair, my costume, and it feels so great. I felt like I was a virtuoso. I felt that my moves were just what we needed to do. I felt that I was indeed performing like the best carnival dancer that there could ever be. Looked around for my friends, and do you know that they all went away because I was not dancing in time with the music, it would appear. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Ah, I now have that image burned in my brain. Oh, thank you, Tuanu. I have a question for Aisha. Imagine you're giving a speech in the year 2050, 2050, about one of the most unforgettable moments in your life. What moment would you showcase?
You saw me pause, everyone, because I was computing how old I will be at that time. And after turning 50 right now, that would be very easy. So if I had to look back at my life, I would say the moment that reflects or would be the most life-changing. I can't get past anything but September 11th, 2001, and that was 9/11. And being from New York City, and having a sibling in that building at the time, who I thought was in the building at the time, I will always be impacted by that moment. And luckily, that sibling is a football fan. And as a football fan who was terribly excited that day, he had got off of work early so that he could go and meet a bookie to put in a bet on the game that evening. And because of that, he was not in the building at the time. And so I will say, if I look back, I think back to if I'm doing the 5 sentences as well, I don't know if the 5 sentences are in here, but I will just say my heart was filled, that I could just smell the beauty of knowing that it was a day of fall, kind of spring where I was. I would say that I could feel the phone as I was frantically trying to reach him. And I could hear his voice when he said, "Sis, I'm home." And so that would be the memory that I would reflect on back in 2050 if I had to think back to today. So thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aisha. That was a very heartwarming, touched response. And I could, yes, thank you so much. I got a question here let's go with Tara. What's a technique that you use or would like to use to sharpen your memory and become a better communicator?
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master of the Day. There are some tried and true methods that maybe some of you have tried to remember, for example, people's names, right? When you meet them, you give yourself a little sentence about them. It's kind of a nonsense sentence, and you try to use that to remember their name. Or, for example, if I were to meet Tanya for the first time, I might try to imagine Tanya sits on the towel, right? Or some little catchphrase to help me remember, oh, that was Tanya. Yet I find memorizing names to be so painfully difficult. What I am banking on is that very soon there will be the release of a nice little chewable pill that tastes maybe like a vitamin C or citrus pill. And you'll take one a day every morning. And this little vitamin C is actually a fantastic memory pill. And it's called vitamin V for virtuoso. And you will take it in the morning with your breakfast. I actually think that maybe it even does give you vitamin C as well as memory. I am definitely hoping that this pill comes to market at a very low price, and that we all get to have a little bit of this vitamin every day, so that we are able to collectively remember each other's names and what happened yesterday and the day before. Better yet, what happened the generation before, and we begin to record and recall our collective memory as a society to our future benefit. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Taro. That's just so remarkable, your response, because my next question is, scientists are developing a memory chip that can store unlimited memories. If you could fill yours with only virtuoso moments, would you want one, and why? I'm going to ask Toastmaster Eugenio to respond. Did you get the entire question, Emmanuel?
No, I was. Can you repeat the question, please? I didn't get everything.
Sure. Scientists are developing a memory chip that can store unlimited memories. If you could fill yours with only virtuoso moments, would you want one, and why?
And what ones would you want? I didn't get it.
Well, let me simplify it for you. Scientists are developing a memory chip. Would you want a memory chip implanted in your brain? And if so, why? Or if not, why?
So this had. What is so? Could you write the question? Could you write the question?
Okay.
Yeah, because
It's going to be difficult to do that with on my phone.
yeah, I think you can share the screen. Memory chip.
Yeah, would you want a memory chip implanted in your brain? And if yes, why? If no, why?
Memory chip.
Yeah, the chip is like what the computer uses to put the data.
Oh, a memory. Okay, a memory chip. Okay, like transhuman, like Neuralink. Okay, so no, no, because I'm Christian, and in the Bible, it's a sign of the end of time, and that the devil is coming to take control of the world. So I will never accept to get a memory chip from Neuralink, from any of these companies, GAFAM, and others. Yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, Emmanuel. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Timer, how much time do we have left for this segment?
I believe that we are ready to move on to the next segment, if that is acceptable.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So that concludes our table topics for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much. That was so exciting and fun. Hard, but good. Now I'm going to turn it over to our general evaluator so that we can get to this portion of our meeting.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster. And I think we will all agree that Toastmaster Alan is certainly a virtuoso table topics master.
Yes.
All right. Yes. So we had two absolutely wonderful speeches today. And at this time, we will take the opportunity to hear from our evaluators of the speeches. And then turn over to our other evaluators. So the first speech evaluator we have is none other than our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aisha.
Thank you. Oh, I think I got who I was. Okay. So yes, as the evaluator, one, I would just like to say, I think I gave a compliment at the start of our meeting before everyone arrived. But thank you so much, Magra, for your very professional style in which you presented to us today. I found it to be very well prepared and very well presented, a great pace. It was also a great opportunity to learn about your management style or your leadership style. I particularly liked how you talked about, where'd it go? How you talked about being a leader to those who were listening around you. And I appreciated the part where you said the dynamic way of speaking and sharing a vision, and also how you demonstrate integrity. But most importantly, you led by example. I think your pace was good. I felt as though it was very well presented. If I had to give just some suggestions, it would be to work on looking directly at the camera. Can we have a camera light? So I really wanted to see you present that strong, maybe a little bit more memorization, because it is about memory masters today, and memorize just a few components of it so that we could get that eye contact and really feel what you were discussing. But overall, I thought it was such a great delivery, and I thank you so much for allowing us all to share in that. And if you could send over your evaluation sheet, I'd love to provide that for you as well.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Aisha. And now let's turn over to the evaluator for Toastmaster Adi, our second speaker, and that would be me. And so, Adi, wow, it's always a pleasure to hear from you. It is a while since I've heard you, and boy, did I miss you. And we certainly We certainly will treat it to your speech today. So let me point to some things that were really great. For example, you used examples in speech that we could all relate to. You know, say, digital phone, use of emails, and so on. You presented the problem at the start very clearly, what the problems were that you were addressing, and then you went, in order to help us to buy in to what you were suggesting, is you used the vision, which helped to make it a lot clearer for us, and you used some very easy to follow steps. Perhaps I can encourage you to maybe look at doing some animation on the slides, because it was a little distracting seeing the entire slides at one time, all the points. You were a little bit close to the screen, and therefore your hands were a little bit distracting because it kept coming into the screen. So maybe you can look at staying a little bit further back from the screen. Yeah, but your passion for this project was absolutely clear. We felt it. You concluded with the benefits. People are so afraid of change. And when you concluded with what the benefits were, why it is that you needed to make this change, I know that your audience certainly felt and understood why, because you then presented some benefits that people can relate to. As usual, a great speech, fantastic speech, Toastmaster Adi, and we look forward to your future speeches. And as Toastmaster Haisha says, can you send me your evaluation? I'll be happy to fill it out for you. Thank you very much. All right, so continue with our evaluation. I'd like to call upon our counter to give you his report for today.
Yes, every speaker did well today, but I've noticed some repeated words such as hand, 3 times for Magloire, 7 times for Ade. The word also been used 4 times from Ade too. And I've also noticed post fillers such as 5 times for Hade, but it's still a great speech because it was she was relying on a PowerPoint and she make it more interactive, and it was coming from her soul and heart. It wasn't that prepared. It was really fully her only speaking and improvising what she has to say. So that's, yeah.
Thank you very much there, our counter for today. And now let's pass you on to the grammarian as well as the timer for today, Toastmaster Tara, for her report.
Super. I will run through the times first, because that's a little quicker. For the first speech, Magloire, you have 5 minutes, 15 seconds. And Ade, you are a bit over at 9 minutes and 56 seconds. But it's only 2 speeches today. We were able to absorb that time. On our table topics, we had Marie Helene at 40 seconds, Tanya at 1 minute, 20 seconds, Haisha at 1 minute, 36 seconds. I was at 1 minute, 55 seconds. Chris Emmanuel at 30 seconds. I will encourage you for table topics to try to keep talking for a minute, even if that means you have to introduce something a little bit aside from the topic presented. But we'd like you to think of it as a miniature speech in 1 minute. On the evaluations, I will apologize, Haisha, that I gave you the wrong timing because I was hot off the table topics.
Oh,
I gave you a green at 1 minute instead of 2.
that's why. Yes. Okay.
I know you must have been like, what? Anyway, so 1 minute and 40 seconds, but I will take responsibility for that. And then Tanya was right at the 2 minute mark. So well done. And I also kind of forgot I was doing grammarian the first 5 minutes. Hence, I but then I got into the groove. And I do have one kind of comment that goes more to Ade's speech, but because it's universal, I think everybody can think about how this works for them in their practice. And I would definitely encourage you in your practice sessions, maybe to record yourself and to listen for what I would call the run-on sentences, right? So Ade, as you went in between sentences, you said, and also, and then, and the word and came up many times. I wish I had actually kept account of it, but it was sort of from thought to thought. You were kind of going thought one and thought two. What I would encourage everyone to do when you do a practice and listen to yourself is to, even if you have to write them down on a note card, but work in those transition words, put in the word next or as a result or therefore, but think about listening for these other ways that you can go from idea A to idea B without using a conjunction, but really ending the thought, therefore, on to the next thought. When I do notes, when I try to speak from handwritten notes, I often have my transition words on the note card because I find that so tricky to keep up with. That was my main grammar comment, but I'll turn it back to you, Tanya.
All right, thank you so very much from a seasoned Toastmaster. It is such a pleasure.
I forgot to give you the word of the day. Aisha was up to 2 or 3. I'm not sure. I might have had one that I didn't record. Tanya 2. I had 1, and Ellen had 2. That's the word of the day, virtuoso.
Word of the day, a great word for today. And aren't we lucky to have a seasoned Toastmaster help us with such great notes and tips that we can all use. I certainly can those transition words. I certainly can. So thank you so much for that. Okay. And that being said, this is the end of the evaluation part. I'll pass you over to our team mod.
Yes, thank you so much. Such a great job. Just as a returning to our theme of the day, and before I turn it back over to someone to lead any club business or to introduce any of the wonderful guests that we have, just wanted to encourage the call to action that I presented earlier to just think about. It wasn't something that we were going to accomplish all in one day, but it's an opportunity for us to really think about how can we continue this journey together and practice not just being good Toastmasters, but being great memory masters, even when it comes to names, because I'm the same way. But if we could continue to work towards that goal, and it'll only make us better and stronger, and we can help one another. So thank you so much for allowing me to serve in the capacity of Toastmaster of the Day. I'm so grateful. And now I turn it back over to Tanya, because she is going to take us the rest of the way as we end in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so very much. I know that we had 2 guests today, and I'm not seeing Marie. I think we might
just left.
Just after. But we do have one person who's just turned her camera on, Roshi. Did I say your name correctly? Welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you. I'm not sure if you're muted.
Still.
We still can't hear you. It's a pity. Let me see.
Still muted.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Hello.
I'm Hiroshi, and I'm so glad to be here. It's my first day at a Toastmasters club. I'm from Sri Lanka, and the time now is past. It's almost 10:30 in the night.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us, Hiroshi. I know you came in towards the middle or so of the meeting.
I'm sorry I'm late. I joined late, I know.
But it is a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you more again in further meetings, because we are very happy to welcome you. Marie, we see you were able to jump back on. Hi.
Hi, I was happy to join today, and I learned a lot.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So we just have 3 minutes to go, and one of my roles would be as the GE to give a general evaluation of today's meeting. And I'm very happy to say that we had a wonderful meeting. We did manage to start on time. We had some people doubling up in their roles quite willingly, because things happen sometimes and people can't make it, and people jumped in and took the role. One of the points that I must point out is that we are indeed a global Toastmaster club, where we have people whose first language is not English. However, they come to meetings, they participate, they try. I mean, Spanish is my second language, and I will tell you that it's sometimes very painful to understand. So hats off to you. You certainly demonstrated a lot of strength, and we are absolutely happy to have you. We received a lot of great tips today. We know that we're on a new platform using Google Meet, and everyone is embracing and making some errors as we go along, but we're learning. I for one started the recording a little bit late into the meeting. However, we are learning and growing. All right, so a great meeting today, guys. For what's happening at the club, I think we could celebrate that we have earned some additional points. Hey, yes, we have earned some additional points, and that is from your hard work, club members. And we certainly have space for new members. So if you would like to find out a little bit more about becoming a member here, you can type it in the chat and let us know, and we will reach out to you. Thank you so much. And with that being said, I am happy to end today's absolutely wonderful meeting. Thanks to everyone for coming.
Hey, Hiroshi, if you want to stay on, we can answer questions for you.
As we stop the recording.
Aha. Thank you. Thank you, Aisha.
Mhm.
Okay, let me see how we do that. Stop the recording. Thank you.